All right, people. I'm here to talk about the question a lot of us are thinking about. Has altcoin season returned? Right? We don't know yet. But I've been looking at, watching Bitcoin, obviously. I have my, before I signed up to TradingView, I would just draw on my phone, make my little lines or whatever. But I had a prediction that, where is it? I'm trying to find it. Here it goes. So I had my prediction about Bitcoin, right? So I was thinking it was going to go either one of these lines, and I think we're following that blue one, if I'm not mistaken. It's not exact science, obviously. It looks like it's colored with crayons and shit. But, or even this purple one, which was my actual prediction. I thought that this is the way that it was going to go. So we would be in the range of this end before the moon shot up here, where we're testing that almost 50,000 range, and I think we're going to drop back down to either below 40, just below 40, like 39-ish. Or we'll go flat. But that was my prediction. I made this prediction a few weeks ago. And it seems like we're following right along that. I mean, it's not really hard to make those guesstimates. And this is the trend lines that I put together show it. Like I said, I think we're right there where we had that volatility. We'll hit up to that 50, which is where the blue mark is, and then we'll drop down to either that green mark or right below it. But I think the crossroads where the green mark is going to be, our deciding moment whether we're going to see that meteoric rise or not. But that's just me guesstimating. Again, no idea what I'm talking about, probably. So don't follow this as financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, please go seek a professional, pay for consultations, get somebody that's a fiduciary that's gonna, look out for your interests. Also, I'm a lawyer, but that doesn't mean I'm your lawyer. Doesn't mean I'm giving you legal advice here. So please don't take anything in here as legal advice. If you're dealing with a legal issue, please consult an attorney, one that's admitted in the jurisdiction, that's relevant, one that has experience with the issues that you're dealing with. Pay for consultations there, because you can definitely avoid a big legal bill if you get some good advice, especially if you pay a couple attorneys and you try to, figure out what the best path is, because some attorneys have different ways of thinking about things. So you got to find one that fits you and your personality and your situation. But sundial was another thing that I had picked up and is doing very well right now. But Solana, I just took profits on. That had a nice rise. These are old. This is from a couple days ago, but these are what I've been looking at, and I think it's at 127 now. Solana. I just took profits this morning. But that's not where I wanted to go. Talking to myself for a little while, I realized that my phone stopped recording. There's a couple of things that I've been looking at. I'm looking at SHIB. So I don't know if it's too late. Before, my sentiment was always below 3.3 we're good, but now I'm like below this point is good. But let's see if I could show you my charting methodology here on this. I kind of try to follow the trends, and I'll start from the beginning to see where it was. Well, I'm not going to count this because that was probably their initial opening or something like that. So SHIB has been definitely making some good progress, even though, you know, it started off pretty wild in the beginning, and it has these really, really sharp increases. If you see, boom. Excuse me, I got either allergies or I caught a cold from, my son had a cold, so maybe I caught a cold. But these are just really sharp jumps that you see happen with SHIB. So we haven't hit that jump, which is making me want to jump into SHIB. Is this altcoin season for SHIB? I don't know. But these rises are definitely pretty sharp. So I like to look at the historical and try to get an idea of where we're going from there. So that one's not as sharp. This one was pretty sharp, matches the other ones. So I think, let's see, this is much better than the pen drawn ones. Actually, I don't like where that was. So I think we're breaking trend here. And I think we're still early enough in. Yeah, we're still early enough in, even if I do it from there. And we're on that, we're teetering on that line here of whether we should be buying or not. And if we look at where it's going as far as its rise, it seems to be this kind of off slope. So this one kind of matches this one over here, which makes me think we might go flat for a little bit along this line. And then I don't know what's gonna happen, but maybe my guesstimate is we're gonna hit a catalyst and get one of these jumps. So if we break past this line here, I think we're gonna drop down, go flat, or along this line. Maybe we dip under it for a little bit, and then we'll have our jump. I think there's some catalysts coming up for SHIB. I think they're about to get listed in some other places or being used for other things. Their metaverse is coming out. There's some things going on that make you go, I don't know. Now, you know, doing this analysis, I'm thinking maybe I should be jumping into SHIB with the money, even though I'm already in there. Maybe it's a good idea, because we're right below that line, or right at that line, where I'm saying this is kind of like the still buy zone for me, based on the long-term trend, which follows all the way down from the beginning. So yeah, that's one of the altcoins that I'm looking at, because everything else has pretty much jumped. The other one I'm looking at is Phantom. So with Phantom, let's see if I can get a Phantom UST. Let's do this one because it'll be fresh. So let's look at just the year. Flatten that out a little. And we'll do our trend lines on this one. So we start from the red. And we go to the red. So this is another one that seems to have not broken out yet. Not just yet, anyway. But it wants to. And you can see that it wants to. I would go here. So it's broken out, but it hasn't had its run yet. And we can see historically it's had some pretty decent run-ups. Pretty sharp. And you'll see a lot of times, like, I will match the angle pretty much. So like these lines are almost matching. Almost, not always. But yeah, then you'll have like the little ones that are a little bit more sideways, horizontal movement. And you'll see when you put in these trend lines that, you know, this is where it's meeting that resistance. This is where it kind of meets the resistance and changes. Again, this is meets the resistance, changes. This is where it was about to meet the resistance and change. It decided to just drop. And then it met up with this line, which is the long-term trend line. And whenever it goes below this long-term trend line, I'm telling you, this is where I buy. And usually it's like a period of volatility, like it's like what happened with Russia or the, like, you know, anything, bad news, FUD. We get into these ranges, and you want to be in there when that happens, if you can find them. And of course, you know, this is all hindsight's 2020, and you know, who knows where it was gonna go, and blah blah blah. But I don't know. It seemed to work for me. I'll show you where else it's worked. Yeah, let's see Sol. Did I do it on FTX or I think I did it on Focus. So yeah, this is another one. You see? That was my trend line. This one's well, it's not a spread out, but that's on the rise. 126 right now. But see, I think this is too late, because once it gets above this line, which is where it's breaking that normal resistance or that change, I don't know, but it could be going all the way up. We're not anywhere near our all-time highs, but like I said with Bitcoin, I think around here we're gonna hit some dips. Like it might get up there, and then we're gonna drop down again before we can get up to an all-time high or anywhere near the former all-time highs. So these are my predictions. It's not scientific all that much. Just my little guesses. Going to some sundial. So sundial has had a nice jump, and this is definitely represented a breakout from its normal trend. I don't think I ever did the historical line, but the stocks are different. It's not the same. This is definitely more about what the company's actually doing, so their acquisition and all that, but this doesn't really mean that we're there, because we are breaking out, but I think it's marijuana reform and all that kind of things. And I just posted the video of the hearing on the MORE Act, which was a Democratic bill that was before the House, and it's getting pushed through because the Democrats have that majority, but at the same time, it wasn't very encouraging. Maybe because the Democrats had the majority, they weren't as enthusiastic in advocating for the bill. But the Republicans definitely were. With their minority, they were clear, articulate, and tried to raise issues that, you know, are going to touch your heart or get you worried or get you scared, those kinds of things, which I hate. I mean, I understand that some of these issues are important, but I hate when people try to use fear or FUD. Just use fear, uncertainty, and doubt to convince people to vote for something. Or I really loathe that. It is not something I respect. But I do respect a good oral argument, and I feel like the Republicans definitely, when it came to the oral skills, they were the king of oral at that hearing. The Democrats, I don't know though. The chairman did all right, but or the person proposing the bill did all right. I think it was Nadler. But there was another, and they'll go unnamed, and they were not very clear or articulate. I couldn't understand them that much. So I don't know. But I still think 2022 is the year of 420. Just do the math. Just do the math. If you can't figure that out, then put it in a comment and I'll explain it to you. But 2022, the year of 420. Just do the math. Alright, people. You know what I say. Trust no one. Be safe out there.